Hello students. Today we will discuss about another important topic in C, that is various storage classes. Various storage classes used in C. So you will be wondering what is this storage classes. You will see it is actually related to the scope, visibility and lifetime of variable. The scope, visibility and lifetime of variables. That means these are the three terms in relation with the usages of variables. So whenever we use some variable, we'll be having some scope. In a simple way, I can say like where these variables or within which location these variables can be accessible, or where it is visible, and how long the variable will be there in the program, or whether it is available till the end of a function, or whether it is available till the end of the program, or even after that whether these variables are available within the system. Okay, so for these three features like scope, visibility and lifetime, based on these concepts we are dividing, or we are having some storage classes, or the various ways in which we can declare the variables, or we can use the variables within the language C. Okay, now when we look at various types of storage classes along with these properties, we will understand in detail about the concept of storage classes. Okay, so already we know that we are declaring variables and they will be having some data type, and they also have one more thing. I am going to add one more thing, that is they will be having some storage class. Some storage class. Based on the storage class only the variables are being stored. Okay, so let us see what are those storage classes. So sometimes it is related to the storage of variable, where it is being stored and how it can be. So every time if a variable to be accessed, that must be available in the storage, in the memory. So where it is available now, or whether it can be accessible or not, that can be decided based on the way in which we are declaring the variable, and that declaration is depending on these various types of storage classes. So in C there are mainly 4 types of storage classes. I'll generally say about the list of these storage classes. One is automatic variables. Just look at the name, automatic. So it is somewhat automatic, that we don't need to do anything, automatically something will be happening. Now second one is external or global variables, third one is static variables, and fourth one is register variables. So 4 ways in which we can store the variable, 4 ways in which we can have the scope of variables, 4 ways in which we can have the visibility of variable, 4 ways in which we can have the lifetime of a particular variable. So based on these individual categories, we will be having these features in different formats. Okay, so we are going to only discuss about variables, the usages of variable, like variable declaration and its usage. So when we declare the variables in different ways, the meaning will be different, like the lifetime, the scope, visibility, etc., etc. That depends on the type of storage class that the variable is using. Like if it is using automatic variables, if it is following the declaration pattern of automatic variables, what will happen? It will be following the features of this particular storage class. Now if you are declaring some external or global variables, it is following this type of its features, like the storage class belongs to external or global, that features will be followed there. Similarly static as well as register variables. Okay, so all these are storage classes in relation with variables, and also it is applicable to functions also. So just like a normal variable only, we are having the declaration of function also. So there also it is applicable, but we are generally going to discuss about variables. With variables, how these storage classes are being used. Okay, so next point is we will discuss on all these 4. That is only the purpose of this session. We will discuss about these 4 categories, what are the features, how it is being utilized, and we will see some examples where we are using these 4 types of storage classes. Okay, now first of all we will see about the first category, that is called as automatic variables. Automatic variables, I will just read out this definition. Just look at these statements, it will be very familiar to you, because traditionally we are following these type of variables. Okay, so automatic variables are declared inside a function. So any function, that is not any function, but normally it is declared inside a function in which they are to be initialized. Normally we are declaring, as well as we are giving some initialization even along with declaration, or later on we are giving some initialization, and they are created when the function is called, and they are destroyed automatically when the function is exited. So if you declare a variable inside a function, it will be created when we enter into that function. That means when we call that function, and it will be destroyed, that variable will be destroyed. So far we never discussed about the lifetime of a variable. We are declaring a variable, we are finding some sum of n numbers, for example, we are finding the sum, then we are getting the result. We don't know what will happen to that sum variable after the execution of the program. That decides the lifetime, how long it is existing within the storage. Okay, so those details only. So theory side we are discussing about all these information. So automatic variables are those variables which are declared inside a function, like int I, j, sum, etc., and that is to be they are to be utilized inside a particular function. Okay, so normally they are utilized inside the function. Okay, so initially I was mentioning it is initialized, because normally when we declare a variable, we need to initialize, we somehow we need to give some value. Even if you are scanning, we need to give a value for that. Okay, so whichever function which is utilizing a function, or the variables that is to be utilized as part of a function, that is declared inside a particular function. Okay, why it is called as automatic? Because these things will happen automatically. That will be created, the memory will be created automatically, and that will be destroyed automatically. That means when we enter into a function, if this is a function, like if it is a main or any other function, for example, it is not main, it is a function fun1. So when it enters into the function, that variable will be created, like int x, that variable will be created. Then it can utilize these variables until the end of that function. When it exits from that function, this x will be destroyed. So whenever we call function 1, x will be created. Whenever we return, or whenever we go out of this function, this x will be destroyed. The memory allocated for this x will be destroyed. Okay, so that is happening with the auto. So this will happen automatically, and these variables are private or local to the function. The variables can only be utilized within the same function. If it is main is also a function. If a variable is declared inside main, it is accessible only within the function. If we are using the variable within function, like function 1, fun1, it can be accessible only inside that particular function. So if you have some other function, there I cannot access this sets. We can have a separate sets here, but we cannot access this sets in this particular function. Okay, so they are private or local to the function in which they are declared. Because of this, it is called as sometimes it is called as local variable. So any variables declared inside a function, any variables inside a main, all these are functions and variables are called as local variables, or it is also called as internal variables. Okay, so now I will give one more information. Now int x is a local variable, or it is an automatic variable, or else we can use the syntax, like we can use a keyword like auto int x. Okay, so this is the traditional term, but we are not using this auto because by default these variables are directly automatic. So auto is a keyword associated with the storage class called as automatic variables. So we don't need to use this auto keyword. Automatically any variables that are normally declared inside a function will be considered as a automatic variable. Okay, now let us see the syntax of this automatic variable usage. Already you are familiar with many programs. I'll just give it in short. So let us see an example from void main. Inside the main we are having a variable int num, normal variable. So this is a local variable, or this is a automatic variable. Okay, so inside this function we can utilize this num. Anywhere we can use this num. Now similarly I am giving another example, means with if you are using auto keyword, that is also okay with C. So auto int num, both are same. Okay, so auto int num as well as int num both are same. They are created when we enter into this function, they are destroyed when we exit from the function. Here also they are created when we enter into the function, and they are destroyed when we are exiting from the function. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now we will see one example. One simple example. We will start from the main, because we are using some function here. We will start from the main. A simple program, I am declaring int max is equal to 30. So along with the declaration I am giving an initial value also, int max is equal to 30. Then directly I am calling func1, then I am calling func2, then I am printing the value of max, %d max. This value will be printed. So it's a very simple example, a variable declaration and an initialization. Max is assigned a value 30. Then I am calling function 1 without having any argument, without having any return type. I am calling function 1. Similarly, function 2 without having a return type, without having a parameter, we are calling function 2. So automatically, what is the flow of this function? So max is a local variable here. Max is a local variable here, or it is an automatic variable here. So it will be created automatically. Memory will be allocated, and 30 is assigned here. So anywhere inside this main, max will be having the value 30. That is our aim. Okay. Now if you call this function 1, what will happen? It will go to the function 1. This is function 1. So what will happen to function 1? Inside the function 1, what we can see here, again I am declaring a variable int max is equal to 10. So I am giving the same name here, but this max is local to function 1. These two are not same. So inside function 1 I am declaring another variable max. So this max is local to function 1, and we are assigning the value 10. So this is also a local variable or automatic variable. This is a automatic variable, or it is a local variable that assigns the value 10. Now printf max in function 1 is max. So automatically you can assume inside this function it will be printing the value 10, right? Inside this function it will be printing the value 10, because locally it is having 10. Inside that I am accessing max. Max will be having the value 10 here. Okay. Now it will return to this point. It will return to, so after that it will return to this point. So function 1 call means it will go to this location, it will create a variable max, assign the value 10, then that 10 will be displayed, and it will return, means it will go back to this one. Okay, so the result will be like max equal to 10 first. Max in function 1 will be displayed. Then just after that function 2 will be called. Now what will happen to function 2? This is function 2. A call to a separate function. Now again it will enter into that function. Here again a local variable or automatic variable is being declared. Automatic variable is being declared, which is having the initial value 20. Okay. Now I am printing max in function 2, that is 20. So locally this is a local variable to function 2. So inside this function max will always refer to this max, and its value is 20. Okay, so during this call it will print the value of max as 20. Okay, then it will return to the same location. Then it will print printf max in main %d max. What value will be printed here? Next, what will be printed? Which max? So already max is being changed here, but it is local to this function 1. Max is changed here, but it is local to this function. So here, what is this max? Max is actually 30. So it is applicable only within the function. So now we can see this is one max which is a local to main. It will be created and destroyed while entering into the main and exiting from the main. So while entering into main, this max will be created, then it will retain till here. So max is here, up to here max is available. Now when you enter into function 1, this will be created. It will remain only till this end of this function. That means when it comes out, when it reaches here, there won't be this max. Similarly, when we call function 2, it will be creating max, another variable. It is local to the function 2. It will be creating that. Its lifetime is only up to here. While exiting from this function 2, this max will be destroyed. Then it will come here. So finally in the main, if you try to print max, which max will be printed? Only the max that is declared inside the function main. Okay, so this is the way. So this is a sample. In any situation we can, means we will be having a main. Sometimes we will be not misusing, like we will be using the same variable names in the main as well as in the function. Not an issue, but they are considered as separate variables. You are giving the same name, but they are in different locations. In that location only it is having its visibility. Okay, so this is called as automatic variables that we were using so far with many programs where we are using the function. Okay, so you can see the result. 10, 20 max in function 1 first will be displayed, then max in function 2, 20 will be displayed, then main, this 20 will be displayed. I hope it is clear. It's a very simple concept only, but just understand the storage, means when it will be created and where is the scope, where that variable can be accessible, visibility, where it is visible, whether it is visible outside the function, no. So we can mention all these things, and what is the lifetime. It will remain until the end of that particular function. If it is main, it is till the end of that main function. If it is a normal function, it is till the end of that particular function. Okay. Now we will move to the next type of storage class, that is called as external variables. That is another important storage class. Variables that are both alive and active throughout the entire program. External variables, a variable that is declared outside of all the functions. A variable that is declared outside of all the functions are called as external variables. It is similar to global variables. We are using the term global variables. A variable that is declared above the main. Normally we are called like declaring above the main, or if you are having some other function even above that function definition, if you have this variable declaration, that is called as global variables. As the name indicates, its lifetime is till the end of the program. Means within any function we can access this global variable. Okay. So unlike local variables, global variables can be accessed by any function in the program. So if in the previous program we had main, then we are having function 1 and function 2. So if you have a global variable, this variable can be accessible in all the functions like main, function 1 and function 2. Okay, so it is common. This variable is common for all these. But in the previous example, in local variable, the variables are different for different functions. It is only local. I hope it is clear. Now let us see one example where we are using this external variable concept. There are two ways in which we can declare a local variable, external variable. One is just above all the function, directly you declare a variable like float pi. Then if you want, you can assign some value. Now just remember, whenever we declare a variable outside of all function or like a global variable, by default the value 0 will be initialized. That is to be noted, because if you declare a variable inside a function, it will be assigning a garbage value by default. But if you are declaring a variable globally, if you are not assigning any value directly, it will be assigning or initializing the value with 0. If you are declaring a variable inside a function, or here like R, we are not initializing any value. By default, it will be assigning a garbage value. But here, if it is globally declared, if we are not providing any initial value, it will be assigning the value 0 automatically. That is a general point related to C. So this is a normal variable declaration, but it is done above of all the function. One way of declaring external variable, and another way of declaring variable is I have given it as a command here. I can use the keyword called as extern, just to specify that variable is external variable. We won't use that regularly, because if you want to use such type of variables, we are directly declaring that above of all the function. We won't use extern regularly. Normally we cannot see that in our normal programs. So just for understanding, extern is a keyword. It is a C keyword used for declaring a variable as an external or global variable. Okay, we can use either of these two. If you don't use this extern, then also depending on the position where it is being declared, the visibility or the storage class definition will be done. Okay, so extern float pi is equal to 4. So one variable pi is declared, and the initial value is given as pi 3.14. We can assume that this variable pi can be used with various functions, because it is written globally. So whatever functions are following, there we can use this particular variable. Okay, now let us see the remaining portion of the program. We will start with the main first. It is always better to start with main. So inside the main, so this is the main program. What is happening with this main? We are declaring a variable R, the integer type, then A and P of float type, then enter the radius, then scan of radius, then in relation with pi we are going to calculate some dimensions of a circle. Okay, so we are reading the radius, then A is equal to, I am calling a function area of R. A is equal to area of R means area is the function name, R is the parameter which is of integer type, and it is returning a value. That is why it is assigned to a variable. What value it is returning? It is returning a float value A. That is why A is declared as float type. A is equal to area of R. We know that for finding area of a circle we require pi. So that is why it is declared globally. Okay. Now similarly, let us see this also. P is equal to perimeter of R. For finding the perimeter of a circle, also we are using a function perimeter with the parameter same R itself. It will return a float value P. That is why it is assigned to the float variable P. Okay. So this is like a function call that returns some value. So whether it is having return or not return, that is not an issue here, but still just understand this particular program. Now we will see, after reading radius, after scanning radius, we will go to this function, means A equal to area of R means it will go to this particular function. This is the function. Its header is float area into R. Okay, it's already known fact. This is the place where we are getting this passed value, that is R. Inside this I am simply using return pi into R into R. So R will be taken from here. From where this pi will be taken? Pi is there in the global set of variables. So pi can be accessible. So the only thing is this pi variable can be accessible inside this area function. That's all. Okay, then this value will be returned. So this calculation will be returning into this area. That means the value will be assigned to the variable A. Then it is calling perimeter. It will go to this function. It will receive that parameter radius. It will return 2 into pi into R. So here also we are using pi, which is not declared here. So from where we are getting this pi? Pi is there in the global section. That is already being declared, and that is being initialized also. So we will be getting the value 3.14 here. Okay, so it will be calculating that 2 pi r and it will be returning the value back to the caller, and that is assigned to the variable p. Then we are simply printing the value area and perimeter into the variable a and p. Okay, now it is clear. I think it is just like a global variable which can be accessible in any function. So in my program, if I am declaring a global variable and I am writing 10 different functions, in all these 10 functions I can access this global variable. Okay, so this is one example. We will see one more example in a different situation how we can use this external variable or global variable. So this is a sample output of the previous one. Now we will see another example where we are not giving any initial value in the global declaration. Okay, after the header file I am declaring a variable int max. So it is declared above int max. It is a global variable. We are not giving any initial value here. So by default it will be assigning the value 0. So you are familiar that. Okay, already I have mentioned. So a global variable max is defined above of all the function. Okay, that is very clear, and also it can be accessible anywhere within the same program, within the same file, within the same program. I can access this max anywhere in this function 1, function 2, etc., etc. So I will come to these functions from the main. Okay, now let us look at the main program. What is this? Max equal to 40. So what I am doing here, max is already declared here. Now I am setting max is equal to 40, means initially it was 0, now max is changed to 40. Okay, that is clear, very clear, because we don't need to declare this max here again, because max is already declared globally. So I can access max, and also I can assign a value here. I am assigning the value 40, set max value to 40. Okay, and simply doing that, then I am calling the function 1. Function 1 call will go to this particular function. This is the function definition. So here what is being done, just look at this portion. What is this? I am declaring int max equal to 10. What is happening here? Now this is not a global variable. Now I am doing a different declaration with data type int max. That means I am declaring a new variable which is a local variable to this function 1. This max and this max is different. Okay, so this is a local declaration. Local declaration means it's a local variable only or automatic variable only. So printf max in function 1, max, what value will be printed here? Local max will be printed. So if you are having a variable, just listen to this point, if you are having a variable with same name locally and globally, inside the function the priority will be given to the local. Okay, so that's a very valid point. In many situations we need to follow this pattern. If you are having the same variable there in global as well as local session, the local will be given preference inside the local function. Okay, so here the value printed will be 10. Okay, then it will return to this point. Function 1 will be returned. Then it will call function 2. Function 2 call will go to this location. Then here max equal to 20. What is happening here? Here it is accessing this max. This is not a declaration. It is setting the value of this max to 20. It is setting the value of this max to whatever value was there with this max. So what was the value? Initially it was 0, but when it reaches here it is changed to 40. Now when it reaches here, when it is calling function 2, that value is changed to 20. Now what is the value of this max? This max is having the value 20. Initially it was 40 and that 40 is changed to 20 now. Okay, resets max value to 20. Now printf the value max here. Here only this max, global max is accessed. Now it is having the value 20. So here it will be printing the value 20. Again after the execution it will return back to the function. Then it will print max in main. So I am trying to print max here. What value will be printed? Just listen to this point. What value will be printed? What value will be printed? It will be printing the value. Just listen, whether it is printing 40. No, it will be printing the max value. What max it is accessing? Main is accessing max global. What is the last value of that max? That is 20. So here we printing the value 20 itself. Okay, so you just listen once, means you just refer once again, go through the program flow. Why it is printing 20 rather than 40? Because the latest value of max will be printing here. Latest value of max global value is changed in between. While calling function 2, it is being changed to 20. Now I am trying to print max. It won't take this 40 because that is already being replaced by function 2. Okay, so that is why it is printing the value 20. So this is the correct answer. Let us see the output, sample output. You can see 10, 20, then 20. This is the result. The reason is already given. Global scope of max is changed by another function. Okay, so you just go through the program once again and again, go through the flow. Then you can, if you are not clear, you can again check on that. Okay, so these are called as external variables. Okay, this is the second category of storage classes. Its lifetime till the end of the program. Then scope is within, that is global. Anywhere it can be accessible. It is visible anywhere. Okay, so those 3 points to be remembered. Now we will go to the next category, that is called as a static variable. A static variable. As the name suggests, the value of static variables persists until the end of the program. So the value of static variables persists until the end of the program. Okay, so let's see what is the difference here when we compare with the external variable. So if you want to set a variable as static variable, we will see with an example, we will clearly understand that. So it will be declared as static declaration by using the keyword static. So static is another C keyword, static int x. Okay, just remember this point also. The value of static variable persists until the end of the program. The value of static variables persist until the end of the program. Just listen here. When we are using a variable and if we come out of that program, for example, look at the previous program. I'll tell you one more that in that way only you can easily understand that. Now this is the program. Now function 1 is being called and I am going out of this function. Okay, I am going out of this function. Then just after, if I am calling function 1 once again, what will happen? Again enter into function 1, the max value will be 10. Okay, assume that the 10 was changed here to 20, max equal to max plus 1, it is changed to 20, assume, inside this function. Then we are coming out. Then again if I am calling function 1, when it enters inside this function, this is a local variable, again it will be having 10, not 20 will be taken. Okay, so just remember the definition of static variable. Even after it exits from the function, it will retain the value. Second time when it enters into the function, the new value or this value won't be assigned, the previous assigned value will be taken. So function 1 is being called, then initially it is assigned 10, then I am changing that to 20 max. Now in this case it is not possible because it is an automatic variable, but if it is a static variable, initially it is assigned as 10, then it is changed to 20, then we come out of the function. Then again if I am calling function 1, here max equal to 10 is wrong, automatically what is the value of max next? It will be 20. The value retained, whatever update value is assigned to that static variable, that will be retained even after coming out of the function. Okay, so that is the difference. Global, that concept is different because locally we can change the value at any time. We are dealing with the same variable but in different location we can change the value. But here if we change the value of static variable, next situation the previously updated value can be taken. That will be held with that particular variable. Okay, now let us see example. So by example only you can easily understand this concept. We will see one example. Very simple example. Then after header file we are having two functions, then the main. So it's a very simple main. This is the main, and I am not going to give any declaration here. It will call function 1, then again it will call function 1, then it will call function 2, again it will call function 2. Okay, you will see the flow. It will call function 1, it will go to this one. What will happen here? It is having a variable static int h equal to 10. Okay, see, this variable h is declared as static and the initial value is 10. Static int h equal to 10. It is a static variable which is having all those meaning that is already mentioned here. Okay, then I am giving h plus plus. What will happen? This h will be incremented to 11. Okay, that is clear. Then printf h, it will be printing the value 11. No doubt, right? Okay, now it will return to this point. Now again it is calling function 1. It will come to the same program once again. Then static int h equal to 10. It is not 10 now, it is now 11. Now it is 11. By default it will be changed to 11. Again if I enter into the same function, its previous value, means previous updated value, will be held with the variable s, not this. Normally when we enter into the function, again this new assignment, this assignment will be taken place, but if it is a static variable, previously updated value will be there. Now what is h? H is 11. Now h plus plus, what will happen? It will become 12 and it will be printing the value 12. I hope it is clear. Okay, now again it is calling function 2. Function 2 will be moving here. It is a local variable int h equal to 10. Okay, h plus plus, it will become 11. So what will be printed here? It will be printing the value 11 here. Again I am calling function 2. Once again I am calling function 2, it will go here. Now int h equal to 10. It is a local variable, so new, the 10 itself will be available with h plus plus. Again it will print 11. So the result of this program will be 11, 12, 11, 11. Okay. So hope it is clear. For static variable, even after going out of this function, this variable, static variable value retains, that remains. Next time when we are using the same variable within the same function or somewhere else, the last update value of that static variable can be taken. No new value. If you assign that, if you enter into the function, the assignment is there, but it holds the previously updated value. That is, so certain situation we need to use this static concept. So this is the storage class that is called as static variables. Okay, so the result will be like 11, 12, 11, 11. I have already mentioned directly how it was working. Okay, I hope it is clear. It's a very simple concept only. Just rewind once again and you can check on that. Okay, so even after we exit from the function, whatever values are being changed, if the value initial value is being changed, the new value will be there. That will be held with the variable later also. That is remaining until the end of the program. Okay. Now the fourth category of storage class is called as register variables. It is not regularly used. The only thing is register, as the name indicates, register is a separate set of memory present in the system. It is a faster memory. So normally data are stored in primary memory, but if you want to have some faster access to some variables, we can store those variables in register memory. So if you want to store those variables into register memory, and if you want to have some faster access, we can use register variables. So if you declare a variable like register int count, so count will be stored in machine register, a separate memory, a faster access memory. Okay, so that, but we cannot say that how it is being accessed fastly, but that is for the internal functionality of the system. Okay, so when we require count, it will be quickly accessing that from, because to the processor closer memory is register, then only we are having the primary memory. Now if it is so, just like if something is there in my table and one book is here, and if that book is there in some other table, I need to go to that table. But if it is here locally, If it is placed here in this table, I can easily, fastly access that book or whatever it be. Okay, similarly, if it is closer to the processor, it can access that variable very quickly. So that is the purpose of register variable. Not normally we are not using. First thing is register, machine registers are having very low capacity, so we cannot hold or we cannot store more variables with register variable. So normally if the size exceeds this register, even if you are using register keyword, it will be considered as local variable only. So some will be moved to register, but if the capacity exceeds, it will be treated like a normal variable only. So just remember a fourth category of storage class, which is register storage class or register variables. It is only for faster access from the machine register memory. Okay, that is only, just like anywhere we can have that. So we don't give any example here. Only thing is, say whatever be the scope, if it is declared as register, it will be moving towards the register memory. Okay, so that is only purpose of using register variable, not commonly used. We are using local variables commonly. We are using external variables some according to the situation, and only when we require static concept, we need to retain the values for the next sessions within the same program. We are using static variable, and register variables very occasionally we are using only when it is strictly required. Okay, now these are the comparison of various storage classes. Extern, it is normally declared before all the function. The visibility is entire file plus other files. Even it is by using extern keyword, we can declare a variable and we can store that within a header file. Okay, not global to all function. You can create your own header file. Within that header file, if you declare extern int a, for example, now that will also be treated as a global variable. Wherever we use that header file, we can access that external variable. That means we don't need to declare it again. Okay, so just remember that also in our example that was not given. Just like you create a file f1.h, just create a file f1.h. Inside h, you just create extern int h, for example. Just give a declaration. Save this file f1.h. Then hash include f1.h. You can use that hash include f1.h. There you don't need to declare this once again. I can directly use h within your program without having any declaration. That is also possible. Then its lifetime is global. It is globally accessible wherever we are having that, means it is global, anywhere it can be accessible. Now static means it is declared static. The specialty is you can even declare that before the function or within the function. Both situations we can use. Only thing is its value will be retained, whether it is global or local. Okay, it is accessible, visibility within the file where we have written all the function, or sometimes if we are using that static function only, if it is declared inside the function, it is accessible only within that function. If it is static globally written, it is accessible to the entire file where we are having all those functions. Just like global and local only. If the static variable is locally declared, it is accessible only local. If it is globally declared, it is accessible for the entire file. So accessibility, visibility is like this one, but static meaning the value will be retained. Okay, so it is also considered as a global lifetime category of variables. Now automatic, it is not normally, always it is inside the function and it is visible only within that function or block. A block can be like, we can simply have a block like opening and closing brace. Okay, if is having multiple statements, it is also a block. Loop is having multiple statements, it is also a block. Or simply opening brace and closing brace, that is also considered as a block. So all these only within those block the automatic or these local functions are, local variables are accessible. Its lifetime is only until the end of the function. Register inside a function or block, normally it is declared inside the function or block. It is only within the function or block until the end of the function. Only thing is it is stored inside a register variable. So that is all about storage classes used in C. It is for general understanding. It is we are not developing any logic here. We are only considering the various ways in which we can declare variables, and we can have the scope where we can use that variable, lifetime, how long it will be retaining, how long it will be there in the memory, and visibility, where these variables are visible. And based on these three, it is categorized into 4 storage classes like extern, static, auto, and register. I hope it is clear, and just go through the 4 different examples. You can refer some other programs where we are using all these types of variables, and you can see the differences. In other languages also we are following like static and all. Automatic we are using regularly. Static, many languages are following static concept. Other two, it's global variables we are following in many languages, but register not always. But those 3 are familiar one, because many languages are following the same types of storage classes. So that's it for now. I hope to see you in the next session. Thank you.